Look at this robot. It looks like something out of a Marvel movie, right? But in the world of high-stakes business, looking cool doesn't pay the bills. Today, we're dissecting Ekso Bionics' 2025 performance. It's a story of a pioneer, someone who built the future but forgot to check if their wallet had a hole the size of a crater. Welcome to the Pioneer's Gamble. First, let's give credit where it's due. Ekso isn't some garage startup. They are the OGs of the exoskeleton world. They were the first to get the FDA's blessing to help stroke patients walk again. They've got boots on the ground from Paris to Tokyo. They have two main businesses: selling to big hospitals, enterprise, and selling to you and me, personal. On paper, they are the kings of the mountain. But here's the plot twist. In 2025, the king took a 29% pay cut. Imagine walking into your boss's office and find out your salary just shrunk by nearly a third. Their revenue tanked from nearly $18 million down to $12.8 million. Why? Because Europe, specifically France, changed the rules of the game for medical reimbursements, and Ekso's sales engine stalled out like a car with no gas. Now, let's talk about the fridge. Most companies have a rainy day fund. Ekso has an accumulated deficit of $262 million. That is enough money to buy a private island, but instead, it's a giant hole in their balance sheet. As of the end of 2025, they only had $1.2 million left in cash, while spending $1 million every month. That's not a business plan. That's a 30-day countdown to zero. So here's the $260 million question. Do they double down on robots? Or do they admit the current model is broken and try something crazy? This is the moment where most companies either disappear into the history books or do something so radical it changes their DNA. And here is the crazy move. Ekso is merging with a data center company called Applied Digital. It's like a world-class athlete deciding to become a computer programmer because it pays better. This merger, called ChronoScale, basically wipes out 97% of the current shareholders' value, but it brings in $15 million in fresh cash. It's a brutal trade, but when you're drowning, you don't complain about the color of the life raft. Let's look at why they're drowning. For every dollar they make, they spend nearly $2. Their gross margin, basically the profit from making the robots, is actually quite good at 53%. They're good at building things, but their back office and marketing costs are 130% of their total revenue. They have a Ferrari engine in a car that's trying to drag a 10-ton anchor. Europe used to be their playground, but now it's a headache. Regulatory red tape turned their sales cycle into an 8 to 12-month marathon. Meanwhile, the industrial side, the guys making exoskeletons for factory workers, is trying to fill the gap, but they're running into a crowded room of competitors. But there is a ray of sunshine. Medicare in the US recently said, okay, we'll pay $91,000 for a personal exoskeleton. This is a massive win. It's like the government suddenly offering to pay for everyone's Tesla. Ekso has 50 people lined up at the door just waiting for their units. This is the only reason the company still has a heartbeat. To survive, Ekso is shedding its skin. They've closed their old factories and moved production to Malaysia. They're becoming an asset-light company. In plain English, they don't want to own the factory. They just want to own the brain and the blueprints. It's smarter, but it means they're now totally dependent on partners across the ocean. What's next? 2026 is the make-or-break year. They're launching a new product called the Nomad for orthopedic clinics, and they're hoping to get back into Europe by spring. If the Nomad flops or the merger hits a snag, the lights go out. Why would anyone still bet on them? Because of their data. They have the most FDA-cleared uses in the industry. Their clinical evidence is a 9.5 out of 10. But their financial health? That's a 2. They are a technical giant with feet made of wet cardboard. Even the bosses are preparing for an exit. They've set up special stock units that pay out only if the company is sold or merged. This is a huge signal. Management isn't trying to build a 100-year independent company anymore. They are prepping the ship for a new captain. Let's be real about the risks. Liquidity, the cash in the bank, is the monster under the bed. If the merger fails, they have no plan B. The regulatory walls in Europe are also high, and they're betting everything on just a few products. The final verdict? Ekso Bionics is a masterpiece of engineering trapped in a financial nightmare. Buying into this is a binary bet. You're either betting that the ChronoScale merger creates an AI compute powerhouse, or you're watching a pioneer fade away. The pioneer walk is over. The compute run begins. If you want the full, data-heavy report on where the robotics and compute markets are heading, you know where to find us. Visit HDINresearch.com or drop us an email. Stay smart, stay skeptical. I'm from HDIN Research, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.